We'll call this work session Monday, July 17th to order. Invocation given by Ms. Frederick and the Pledge of Allegiance by Ms. Tolliver.
Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you tonight and give thanks for all the blessings that we have received this week. We ask you to be with and comfort those who have lost loved ones recently. I especially ask you to be with and comfort the family, the friends, and the co-workers of Ricky Baker, one of our own, who recently passed. I ask you to lead and guide us tonight as we make decisions that affect the citizens and the entire city of Scottsboro. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
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 I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, sir. First thing tonight is a tourism grant application from the Scottsboro High School Band. Mr. Cross?
Me?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So I'm the band booster president. My name is Preston Carlson. We are on our 5th year of the Marching Band Festival. We had a good, successful event last year. We've been making preparations for it again and plan on having a bigger event than we did last year.
Yes. Okay.
Questions?
All right. So you see in your packet, you have a grant application in the amount of $4,500 for the Scottsboro High School Band for the band competition this year. Anyone have any questions? No questions. We'll put this on next week's meeting for a vote.
All right.
Thank you. All right, number 2, discuss the resolution to award the bid and contract for the pickleball pavilion. Mr. Olenese, come with some good news.
Lots of good news.
Yes, sir.
Very briefly, the last 2 weeks have been banner week for the project. The courts have asphalt. They had the rock base, final rock base put on it by the contractor. This is all by the courts contractor. The rock was put down. The asphalt company, their subcontract came and put the asphalt down, and their subcontract on the fencing. All the fence posts are in. So the only thing on the courts that are needed is for the asphalt to cure out. They put a special surfacing on it, just as they're going to do on the tennis courts, the same kind of surfacing that they redo it. And then paint it and stripe it, put up the fence, put up the nets, and it'll be ready for play. The courts will be ready for play. It'll be, I'm telling folks, about the end of August, because it has to cure for 30 days, and then if any issues come up with the contractor being able to come and do that. So, and then in the meantime, concrete work is continuing. The north half of the pavilion slab is completed, and we've started work now on the south half, and so that work hopefully will be completed within a couple of weeks in preparation for the pavilion structure that's part of this upcoming contract. Everything above the slab will be as part of this contract. So this scope of this work that the requesting approval for is a 30 by 36 pavilion above the existing concrete that'll be finished, to include the structure, the plumbing, the electrical, and the mechanical work. Requests for bids were advertised and sent to 8 area licensed general contractors. 3 bids were received and opened on July 11th. The low bid by TCB Electric and Contracting was almost $90,000, $89,500. You see the others. They're a local company. They're using local subcontractors and local work. Sam Construction's a good company. They've done work with me before, very good. But most of their subcontractors are probably out of Fort Payne that they normally deal with. So I think the local contractors have really sharpened their pencils in order to make this a possibility. Bill Bradford is very big on buying locally in Scottsboro, and I really applaud him for that, and I support that, and hope the citizens do as well. So TCB's bid was reviewed for compliance with the bidding documents, and everything is acceptable. Additionally, their bid amount is more in line with what I had estimated. I had estimated $100,000, so it's under that. So requesting two things from the council, please. Request council approval of the contract to the low bidder, TCB Electric and Contracting, in the amount of $89,500. Secondly, request council approval for a contingency amount of up to $5,000 that can be used for unexpected conditions for this contract. None are anticipated, but if needed, this will allow quick decisions to be made. Any use of the contingency fund will be first discussed with Mayor McCamey, and then when the project is finished, it will be presented to the council for official contract change. I'm certainly not expecting it, but if anything came up that was over that, obviously I would come before the council. So requesting those two items, including this contract amount of $89,500 plus the $5,000 contingency, project commitments to date are about $350,000. Remaining work for the pavilion slab, the remaining part of the pavilion slab, the entrance ramp, walkway, handrails, landscaping, etc., benches, for example, for the courts, will be less than $50,000, such that the project is forecast to be completed within the $400,000 budget approved by the council.
Yeah, I just wanted to make that point, that contingency of 5,000 would also be part of the 400.
Yeah, yes, part of the 400,000.
Yes.
That's correct.
So anyone have any questions or comments?
The only comment I have to say, I appreciate Jim for all the hard work he has
Sure.
put into this and gotten other people to do it too, so I appreciate it.
Well, thank you. I enjoy it. As you know, I love being outside and doing construction stuff, and can't think of a better way to do it for the city of Scottsboro.
And what you were saying about Bill, I don't think I've ever been in Home Depot and not seen him in there.
Yeah.
So,
That's true.
yeah. Anyone else have anything else? Nothing else, we'll put that on next week for me, for the vote. Thank you. Number 3, discuss additional funding for the 2024 Toyota Series Fishing Tournament. Mr. Rogan.
Thank you very much. Appreciate the partnership that we have on our fishing tournaments. Last month, y'all approved $5,000 to go to the Toyota Series tournament and $5,000 to go to Angler's Choice. Angler's Choice has not been here in years. Toyota's been here the last 2 years. In the last 2 years prior to that, y'all had a little bit more money in your fund, so you're able to do $10,000. So that would leave us $15,000 because there's expenses over and above the $17,500 contract. You also approved 2 other tournaments that were $4,000 each. You approved $2,000 each for those.
Yes.
My request is to take the $2,000 each for those 2 tournaments and put them toward the Toyota Series and not do those 2 because we don't have the money. It's
Those
as
were
simple as
the ABF.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, ABF.
Yeah.
So we just do not have the dollars available. Simple as that. We have a limited amount of dollars. So by taking the $2,000 each, it would save us $4,000. Plus, it put those put $4,000 toward the Toyota tournament. We'll put y'all at $9,000, us at $11,000, which is closer to what we've done the last 2 years. So I'm not asking for any additional funds at all. I'm just asking to reappropriate those $2,000 each for a total of $4,000 to the Toyota.
And there's no contracts or anything been signed with the ABF?
No.
Okay.
No.
Well,
No, nothing.
clarify that. Okay.
So that's all, again, not asking for additional funds, just reappropriating to
Okay.
a better tournament. And the Toyota Series is certainly a huge tournament. So that's the only request I have.
Okay. Any questions or comments on this? No questions? We'll move that to next week's meeting for a vote.
Okay, thank y'all very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Number 4, discuss the appropriation for the Goose Pond 4th of July fireworks. I'll go over that. As you know, for over 40 years, the city's partnered with Goose Pond with fireworks. The total amount this year was $4,000, and that money always comes out of the tourism grant fund. So anyone have any questions about approving this, moving it forward? Like I say, it's $4,000 that would come out of the tourism grant fund to cover the fireworks for July 4th. No questions, and we'll move that to next week's meeting. All right, number 5, discuss the fire department purchases. Chief Necklace.
Yes, sir, thank you for some time. I want to hand these out. I know it's a lot of information. I'll try to be as quick as I can, but I want to make sure that everybody knows exactly what we're doing. I want to talk about 2 purchases tonight. Both of these would be fire tax money, so not really anything to do with the nation here. Yeah, let's all have one. Not really having an impact on the budget per se, but I do want us to look at the processes we're using on these purchases. So the first one is, on top there are reporting software. So just like everybody else in the world, we have to report to other people. And most concern in this situation right now is Department of Public Health. So short story long, our current software vendor was acquired by a different company. They're no longer going to support what Alabama requires for us to meet what public health wants us to do. So I saw 3 quotes. I want to point out the prices are over $15,000, but the purchase will be made after August 1, and the bid law threshold has been amended as of that date. So, and I want to look at the quotes because they're a little funny looking. That first one, if you look at it, is a 3-year commitment. They've discounted 2 of those years significantly, but I have concerns about this quote because there are components in there that we would have to get a second vendor or a third vendor or whoever else to add to. It doesn't do all the features we need, such as scheduling. It doesn't give us some of the mobile applications for inspections and hydrants and those pre-plans and those sort of things. So we would have to get additional softwares to be basically commingled into this one. So it's not a true picture of what it's going to cost. And the second biggest concern for me is reviewing the contracts. This first one has an automatic 8.75% increase after the term every year. So in the long term, it's going to be significantly higher once those discounts run out and the increases start. The second one would be my recommendation, which is maybe not on paper the exact lowest bid right now. I think in the long term it will be. It meets all our needs in reviewing its contract. It doesn't have an automatic increase, but it does cap any increase at 5% annually. So worst case scenario, we're 4% a year saving money or saving our increases. So that would be my recommendation. I just wanted to, the third one that you can see is way out of line in the price.
Yeah.
I just wanted to run through those and make a recommendation, and because I know when you glance at these quotes, one looks significantly, or you may wonder why we chose something other than the first one. Yes, sir.
Go ahead, Mr. King.
I concur with your approach, but I notice on number 2, the bid is only valid until July 31st.
Well,
Have you got an extension of that so we can get to the September date when the bid law will change?
yes, sir. My understanding is the competitive bid law would change August 1. The Public Works bid law changes September 1. I'll double check that. And yes, if we can agree to enter a contract with these folks, they will essentially, we're not paying for it until later, but they can begin some of the preliminary work as far as data migration and that sort of thing. The purchase won't be until after that bid law changes, and I'll verify that date and make sure we meet that. They will extend this. Like most quotes, they make them 30 days or something like that. So that's what we're doing on the first one. Like I said, that first quote she's real attractive when you look at her. Once you get to know her, you may not want to marry her kind of thing. So that was that. The second one, a little more complicated, or maybe a little more to talk about. We've reached a point where we need to begin replacing our extrication tools, our vehicle extrication tools. And you can see what those units cost per setup. We don't have the money at fire tax right now to do those all at once. that creates a problem for me in that I love having all our equipment consistent and the same across all our stations. It just solves so much operational issue and maintenance issue and everything else. My concern is this is gonna be over the bid limit. If I do a low bid every year for the next 3 years, I may end up with 3 different things. Leaves us 2 options under the law. The first one I hate, which is a sole source, and the second one would be a cooperative purchase. So what I've done in this package, the next page will tell you the pertinent part of the law as it relates to cooperative purchases. And if you turn to the blue one, all the supporting documents that are needed. So we have to meet A, B, C, and D. And then those, we need to, that the purchases are on a competitive bid process approved by the public examiners, that they're not available on the state purchasing program, or if they are, they're more expensive or not the same price. It's made through a participating Alabama vendor holding an Alabama business license, and that we have notice from the Department of Public Examiners that all of that's been approved. So if we look at the first one, if you'll turn to the blue in the second page, you can see a letter from the Public Examiner's Office that approves the HGAC cooperative. The second piece of that is a long 17, 18-page contract where the vendor has entered into or a contract with the HGAC, which I believe satisfies both A and D as required in the law. You turn to the orange tab. I printed out 3 searches from the Alabama purchasing website, state bid list, basically approved. None of those show anything that relates to what we're looking for in regard to these tools. So by all my best efforts, there's none of this on the state bid list, and I've never heard of any of this equipment being on the state bid list. And then, which satisfies, I believe, B. And then the last page is the actual Alabama vendor. Under the purple tab, that is their state of Alabama license is required under C. And just for a little extra, a letter from the manufacturer that says there's no other vendor in Alabama that does this. So we're not picking one vendor over another. This is the only one that's available in the state. So with that, again, this will be a county tax or a fire tax purchase, but I would like for the council to be aware, do whatever action they need to take to allow us to buy this on a cooperative purchase agreement. So, any questions about that, and I'll be happy to answer them. I said that all fast, and
Yes, sir.
it's a lot of stuff, but.
Mr. Kennemer, good with all of that?
I'm good with all of that.
That's all I need to know.
You guys have any questions? Because this, again, all of this will be in the next month or 2, depending on that. So if you have any questions in the meantime, let me know, and we'll do our fire tax purchase the same way we always do with that approval process. Just wanted to make sure we were all on the same page.
We'll move this stuff to next week's meeting then.
All right,
Thank you. All right, number 6, announce zoning adjustment board vacancies. Ms. Phillips, you go over that.
Tim Saint, Adam Stiles, and Alan Toller's positions on the Zoning Adjustment Board have expired. These are 3-year terms. Anyone interested should apply in writing to the city clerk's office by 4:30 p.m. on Friday, August 4th, 2023.
Okay. You got 3 vacancies there on the zoning board. All right, then we'll move to number 7, announce the commercial development authority vacancies. Ms. Phillips?
Nathan Allen and Tanner Harbin's positions on the Commercial Development Board have expired. These are 4-year terms. Anyone interested should apply in writing to the city clerk's office by 4:30 p.m. on Friday, August 4th, 2023.
Okay. 5 board vacancies. Hope we got people willing to come back on or willing to step up and serve on those. Thank you, Ms. Phillips. All right. There's no delegations tonight. We'll save reports to the end of the meeting that's going to follow. So with that being said, the work session, we are adjourned. Just give me 1 minute and we'll get this council meeting stuff set up. good? All right. We'll call this emergency council meeting Monday, July 17th to order. Formalities were given at the work session, so we'll go to roll call. Ms. Phillips?
Mr. Dahl?
Here.
Ms. Tolliver?
Here.
Mr. Ashburn? Ms. Frederick?
Here.
Mr. Bailey?
Here. We'll move to adopt the agenda. Do I have a motion to adopt the agenda?
I'll make that motion.
Okay. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion on the agenda? Hearing none, we'll vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Agenda's adopted. Only thing tonight, new business, is consider the resolution to participate in the Jackson County Public Works Program. Mayor, will you go over it before we vote on this? I just
Sure.
want to make sure that everybody's aware of what we're actually doing here.
Yes, the Scottsboro Water, Sewer, and Gas Board has a project on Ashmore Lane that they've been working on to replace a sewer line. Part of that project involves resurfacing one half of, or the one direction on Ashmore Lane. At the same time, the city is doing work, the street department's doing work on Scott Street to replace the culverts where they were collapsing. Initially, the Water Board had intended to try to piggyback with Jackson County's annual bid prices. They were unable to do that, and neither were we. So, and Mr. Nance, Chairman of the County Commission, is here tonight. We appreciate you being here with us. What we have pursued is to participate with the county when they let their bid, actually this week and next week, which is the reason for the emergency meeting. They will include the city of Scottsboro in their bid specs so that we will be able to use those county bid specs, as will the Scottsboro Water, Sewer, and Gas Board if they have a project that they need to do. Previously, they could not do that. So we've asked the county to add Scottsboro to their bid list for next year for paving materials to allow the city and the Water, Sewer, and Gas Board to utilize those county bid prices. That will not preclude us from bidding our own projects as we do now. We will still do that, but it will also give us another option for some resurfacing should we need to use that.
Okay.
And that's essentially what it is.
Thank you, Mayor. Appreciate that. So with all that being said, do I have a motion to approve this?
I'll make that motion.
Yeah. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion on this? Anyone not clear? Just want to make sure. All right, hearing none, we'll vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. That'll conclude the meeting. So we'll go to reports. Mayor?
I've got 2 or 3 tonight. First, Scott Street, where the street department has been working, they should have the tiles set sometime tomorrow and have Scott Street temporarily back open tomorrow, sometime tomorrow afternoon. I think maybe everyone noticed, if they've been out that way, that work began at the intersection of Micah Way and Highway 35 today at the Chick-fil-A intersection. They've already started moving dirt there. In addition to that, several months ago, when the city was awarded a $600,000 EPA grant, it was awarded to do Phase 1 and Phase 2 environmental studies. Part of that grant and part of the work included work to determine a plan for redevelopment and for remediation. Part of that grant is going towards a Willow Street corridor redevelopment plan. Most of the projects that we selected for Phase 1 and Phase 2 were on Willow Street, and it was a natural fit to do a redevelopment plan for that corridor. The contractor will be putting out a survey, a public survey, in the next week or so, as well as some cards. They'll be doing a community design workshop July 31st, August 1st, 2nd, and the closing on August the 3rd. It'll be held at the Scottsboro Water, Sewer, and Gas Operations Center. This does not include any additional funding. All of the funding is included in the $600,000 grant that we're awarded from EPA. So I just wanted to give you a heads up. You will be seeing and hearing about a survey. It is a legitimate survey. It asks questions about Willis Street, what we would like to see on Willis Street, what kind of projects we would like to see coming in, and that kind of thing. So it is a legitimate workshop. So just be watching for that in the next couple of weeks. And I think that's all I've got, Mr. President. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Mr. Dahl?
I don't have anything, thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Tolliver?
I don't have anything, thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Frederick?
I don't have anything tonight.
All right, thank you. Just remind everybody, there will be a meeting on the 24th. Everything that we move tonight will go to that meeting. There'll be no meeting on the 31st. That'll be a fifth Monday. And then August looks straight down the path. So it looks like we should just have regular work sessions and meetings throughout the month of August. So appreciate everyone coming tonight. I entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? None. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We're adjourned. Thank you.